Hello everybody, welcome to Kukoon Yoga. This is prenatal yoga with Selena. So before we get started, I want to make sure that everybody has some sort of block. This is a hard foam block, but if you don't have that at home, that's okay. You can get creative, use a shoebox or a container, something that gives you a little bit of height that we might need to use throughout class, okay? So having that prepared, and then of course, as always, having some sort of bolster or pillow. You can grab it off your couch or bed, something to give you a little bit of height so we can straddle across it. All right, let's get started. Sitting up in a nice tall seat, whatever that looks like for you. Closing your eyes. So often when we sit up in this nice tall alignment, we are able to more easily access the breath to its full potential, to abundance and completion. So notice that now. Notice if this rhythm that you're finding right now, this pace, is easier or harder. Most will find it easier to be able to access full cycles of breath when sitting up tall. Keep riding that rhythm of your breath. When we focus our attention on the breath, it helps fixate the mind to one point of concentration. This helps to ease distraction around us from that wandering mind, that monkey chatter mind, which essentially helps to decrease stress. And I know we could all use a little bit of that in our lives. So this is why your breath is your anchor. It's that starting point when you need to connect inward, when you need to focus, when distraction is all around you. Connect to that breath. And sometimes that might mean removing yourself from that situation, that surrounding, whether you're at work or at home with family. That's okay. Sometimes that means during your birth you may need to ask certain people to leave your space because they're distracting, and that is okay. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that in a future class, about owning your space during birth. This class will be focused on trust. Trusting that beautiful, natural, innate process, that journey of birth. So stay with your anchor, stay with that breath. Stay with that one point of concentration. Taking 3 more slow, nurturing cycles. Feel free to make them long out breaths. So where you elongate that exhale, you can do your pursed lips, horse lips, waterfall moan. All of these are amazing out breaths. Continue your cycles, elongating that out breath, helping to bring this sense of calm and peacefulness inward. And then when you're finished, take your time, steady your breath. And then gently opening your eyes, adjusting to the light. Good. All right, so we are going to bring ourselves onto our bolsters now. So rolling forward, coming to sit up. And grab a hold of that bolster or pillow, rolled up blanket, whatever you have to help fill space underneath you as you straddle over top of it and come to sit hero at the top. So again, if this doesn't feel good, bring your legs around. Just make sure that wherever you're seated is comfortable enough to be here for the next few minutes as we do our connection breath. So let's get right into it. Connection breath, connecting with our Mula Bandha, our pelvic floor, and our Uddiyana Bandha, our core. Okay, so these two are a team, they work together, and we wanna make sure they remain strong throughout pregnancy and going into postpartum. So when we do this, again, with that nice optimal alignment, sitting up nice and tall, stacking, close your eyes, tuck your chin just an inch towards your chest here, and just steady your breath, find that nice, easy rhythm of your flow. Good. So we're gonna do big inhales as we soften and open the pelvic floor, open the bits. And then exhaling, lifting the bits up like we're stopping the flow of urination, all the way up to the top where we will find our connection with our core, your lower belly. So let's do 3 together. Starting to push all the air out of your lungs. And we're gonna do an inhale to 5, starting swelling, 3, 4, 5. Now exhale and lift your bits up like you're stopping the flow of urination and passing gas all the way to the top. Good. 4, and hug. That connection. There it is. Inhale, let it all go. Feel heaviness in your bits. Open, soften. 5, and exhale, lift. 2, 3, 4, and gentle hug. Shouldn't feel your belly move there, just an internal sensation. All right, last cycle on your own. Inhale, open and soften. Release between your sits bones. 5, and exhale, lift. 2, 3, 4, and hug. Okay, 3 more just like that at your own pace. Don't worry about counting out the breath. Inhale, open and soften, swell your belly. And then exhale to lift. And at the top, at the end, find your hug. Finishing up your last cycle, but don't rush it. And when you're done, you can gently open your eyes, give the shoulders a little roll out. So we're gonna stay here for one more pranayama, one more breathing exercise, which is your birthing breath. Now this is that fun one where you get to make a lot of noise. This is where we're finding that out breath where the exhale exceeds the inhale, so it goes really long. So imagine you're driving and somebody cuts you off in traffic. Innately, you do this out breath. Or if you have kids at home and they're throwing fruit across the house, you immediately go, That is an out breath. And innately, we do these. Intrinsically, we want to help feed our brain, activate that parasympathetic nervous system so that we don't go charging in and all the cortisol and stress starts flowing. Now, when we can maintain and anchor ourselves with that breath, we can control our environment and how we influence and how we are reacting within that environment. So this is called your birthing breath. This is probably one of your most powerful tools I can teach you in preparation for your birth. Now, your bits won't be doing any lifting. They only remain open on both inhale and exhale. So if you can kind of keep note of what they're doing on each inhale and each exhale, they're remaining open. But the exhale is different. The exhale is where we're gonna find that horse lips or waterfall or moan, oh, which in my opinion is the best one. Okay, so be noisy, own it, surrender to it, force out that exhale, and you'll see later why this is really important, okay? So bringing hands to that lower belly, remember keeping open bits on both cycle in and out, sitting up nice and tall, pushing all the air out of your lungs. Start your slow inhale for 5, 2, 3, 4. Inhale for waterfall. 2, 3, 4. Nice and long. Keep it going. Keep it going. Good. Inhale for moan. 2, 3, 4. Oh, yeah. Good job. Steady that breath. Open your eyes if they're closed. All right. Let's peel our way off of the prop. You can move it up to the side and come to sit on your bum in bound angle. So bringing your feet together, splay them open kind of like you're opening up a book. Let your knees be floppy. Remove any flesh out of the way of the sit bones so that you can equally ground and root them here. Good. So we're going to cross over, right hand towards the left shin or knee or even thigh, wherever you feel comfortable here. Okay. And then inhale, bring the left hand across the body. So you're just finding that space and place that feels good for you right now. And if you need to adjust this hand, you can. This hand is just your anchor, so you can let your arm hang over, kind of like a rainbow over your head. Gazing towards the floor, to the sky, whatever feels good for you. Awesome. And then slowly come up. Now plant the left hand down. Inhale, right arm goes up. And then exhale, find a side stretch here. Check in to make sure that you can still take a breath where you're at. This is important. Good. And then on your next inhale, tune into it. Coming up and release your arm down. Opposite side now. So reaching across, grabbing a hold of your right leg with your left hand. Inhale, lift, lengthen through the crown of your head, and then exhale, find a side stretch. Making sure your shoulders aren't creeping up. Can you settle them down away from your ears? Fingers, though, are nice and bright overhead. Take that nice, full, abundant breath. And then on your inhale, coming up through center, planting your palm down. Inhale, left arm goes up. And then exhale, find your side stretch. Oh my goodness, glorious stretch. Side stretching is so amazing during pregnancy as you move through the second stage of the later stages of the second trimester and into the third. Your rib cage starts to expand, and so these side stretches can be so beautiful to help get that alignment back, make a little bit more room for baby. Okay, slowly coming up and release down. Awesome. Taking those knees together, sweep the feet around behind you, and we're gonna come into tabletop. So coming up onto all fours, remembering your cues if you wanna come up onto fists or down even onto forearms, pulling in your props if you want. Okay, this is always an option for you to do if the wrists give you trouble, give you soreness. Otherwise, coming on to all fours, give the hips a little wiggle waggle, and then slowly we're gonna navigate the right foot around in front and see if you can get in line with your hands and your wrists. And if that foot doesn't wanna come up that far, don't worry, you just bring it up to wherever feels good for you. Okay, and then we're gonna start to slowly lunge forward and back. You can make circles here as well. It doesn't have to just be forward and back. You can do little moon-shaped half circles. You can bow your head as well. I really like doing that. Modified splits, bow your head. So this is really your flow. I want to encourage movement from you that you feel you need right now. So not so much following my cues or what I'm doing. Tapping into your intuition. We talked a lot about this in past classes. Tapping into your intuition. Evoking that innate wisdom within you as you prepare for your birth. So as you're flowing intuitively here, I want you to think of what expectations or what fears or what judgments or guilt you and others might be placing upon you as you approach your birth. It's a lot to think about. But just on the top of your mind, what comes forth when you're thinking about any fears, judgment, and guilt you might have? It's all welcome. Any expectations? Bring it forth. In order to manage it, we must deal with it, so bring it forth, think about it. Good, okay. Keep breathing, one more cycle in your flow here. And then when you're ready, putting the weight back into your hands, slowly navigate that foot back and around. And then we're gonna sweep the left foot around in front. Here we go with our flow. Find that sweet movement that speaks to you right now, encouraging your intuition to come forth. So I often refer to that intuition as a goddess, but you can think about it however you want to see it in you. Maybe it's a sorceress or some sort of animal form, like a wolf or a lion, lioness. So helping to evoke that innate wisdom helps you to stand in that power, that strength. This is what we want during birth. We want to feel in command and in charge, that we're owning that birth space. But first we must let go. We must trust in our bodies, that our bodies do know what to do. We must trust in baby, that baby knows what to do during birth. And trust is hard. It's a lot about surrendering and just simply letting go. Letting go of all that fear, judgment, guilt, whatever came forth to you, expectations, all of that inner conflict. Noticing it, letting it go. All right, putting the weight back into your hands, shifting your left foot back in line. And we're gonna come up into kneeling. So if you wanted to put any cushioning under your knees, feel free. Double up your mat, feel free to. Coming up tall into kneeling, take your hands to your hips, and then stepping out to the right. See if you can get your right heel in line with your right hip. We're gonna prepare for gate pose. So slide your hand down, your leg palm facing up so you're not putting weight into that leg. Palm facing up. Inhale, lift and lengthen your left arm, and then exhale, find a side stretch. Whew. So this side stretch coming right out of your hip area here, opening up your rib cage. Make sure your shoulders settle down away from your ear, but the fingers are nice and bright overhead. Good, take a big breath in and out. Make it an out breath if you want. And then on your next inhale, come up, plant your hand down now. So I'm gonna just shift my left foot into the center line here because that feels better for me. So you just find a comfortable spot for your knee and joint here. And then we're gonna circle the right arm overhead 3 times backwards, okay? So big wide circle with your right arm, opening up. Go slow because I don't want you to fall here. Feel like you're gonna fall anyways. Open up, and one last time. So you're getting as much movement as you can in your shoulder. Good. Bringing your hand to your hip and slowly coming back up and into kneeling. Take your time, making sure you're feeling comfortable. When you're ready, left leg goes out to the left. Toes facing forward, heel in line with your hip. Guide your left hand down your leg and then inhale up with your right arm. Exhale, side stretch. Feel that powerful opening through your side body, right from your hip to your armpit. Settle your shoulders down your back. One more breath, inhale deep. Exhale, big long out breath. Good. Inhale, open, and exhale, plant down your hand. Moving again that right foot now into the center line to help make sure you feel stable and secure here. And then with the left arm, circling it back, opening up to the sky. Go slow, 3 big cycles like this. Moving with your breath if you can. Good, and then on your last cycle, wrapping around, hand to hip. And then slowly ascend up into kneeling. Shoop. All right. From here, take your knees wide and your feet wide. So we're gonna prepare for this frog squat bow. So you remember, if we've done this before with me, you gotta make space here for your torso to move down into this forward fold. And so where your head can bow. But if you're feeling nauseous, lightheaded, have heartburn, or any sort of indigestion, please feel free to keep your head up above your heart and just come into frog squat like so, with your hands up at your chest. Other option, if you're not into deep squatting, take your feet a little wider, about as wide as your hips, and come up onto your knees with your elbows resting comfortably. This is half squat. So lots of options for you here. Coming into whichever version feels good for you. If you're coming into the bow, slowly start to walk forward. Down, 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 down. Good. Let your head hang. Try to release any tension out of your neck. Find those big, beautiful out breaths. Playing around with new ones. Good. Finishing your last cycle of breath, and then slowly, slowly walk your hands back to meet your feet, and then putting the weight into your hands, lift your bum up first and ragdoll with nice soft knees all the way up to standing. Good. So you can come up to the top of your mat now. Remember, you have that foam block or container ready at the side of your mat, because we're gonna step sideways eventually and we're gonna maybe wanna reach for it. So have it handy, have it close by. So coming up to mountain at the top of your mat, standing up nice and tall. Find that alignment with your ears stacked over your shoulders, shoulders stacked over your hips, hips stacked over your heels. Okay, then root all 4 corners of your feet into the ground. And as you do that, I want you to feel that activation in your knees, toning in your thighs, yeah? Blossom your bum, creating that nice neutral spine with your pelvis so you're not spilling too far forward or rounding too far back. So blossom, chin is about parallel to the ground. And then you can open your palms up forward. Opening your heart, close your eyes, and let's take 3 big giant breaths. Inhale, trust. Exhale, fear. Inhale, trust. Exhale, expectation and judgment. Inhale, trust. Exhale, guilt. Beautiful. Right, gently opening your eyes. Hands on your hips. And take a giant step back with your right leg. So that back toe is facing forward to the top right-hand corner of your mat, and the hips are comfortably facing the front of your mat. All right, inhale, sweep your arms up overhead, And then exhale, bend into your front knee. So ideally, your arms are at the height of your ears. Shoulder blades settle down your back, nice bright fingers. And your front knee is stacked right over top of your front heel. So just navigate your foot if you need to, situate yourself there. Hug your legs towards one another. That's probably the most important cue I can give you here. Like you're on that sheet of ice, hug the bones towards the center line, helping to activate your core, but keep breathing into your belly, your rectus abdominis. That shouldn't be constrained here, just your core, your transversus is engaged simply by hugging. Okay, you feel that connection? Settle into warrior one. And if you're liking this position, liking this stability, this strong sensation that you're feeling here, because warrior one is quite a strong pose, stay here. If you want to, flow with me. Inhale to rise up tall, and then exhale, bow forward, keep the connection between your legs, and sweep your arms back and around. Inhale to rise, don't lose that connection, right up to the top, arms nice and bright, and then exhale to bow. And so you've got your flow, so keep moving with it. It doesn't have to be at my rate and rhythm. It's simply an exhale to bow and an inhale to rise. Nice strong breaths. Feel free to put that out breath in there. Shh. Anyone you want to play around with as you bow forward. We're gonna do one more. And we will meet back up at the top in warrior one. Good. Did you lose that connection? Check in. Awesome. Take your hands to your hips now and pivot on your heels to face the side of your mat. So you're kind of facing around where your block would be. All right, plie your toes out to the outer corners of your mat. We're gonna come into our beautiful squat here, our wide leg squat. Adjust your heels, really move your feet so that they're stacked right underneath your knees, toes and knees going in the same direction. Check that your pelvis isn't spilling forward or back too much so you have that nice neutral spine where your rib cage is stacked right over top of the bowl of your pelvis here. All right, slide your hands down your thighs, fingers on the inside. Inhale, lift and lengthen the spine. Exhale, draw opposite shoulder towards opposite knee. Keep your bum low. We're flowing through temple here, moving with your breath. An inhale to rise, and an exhale, alternating sides. Gentle twist. Jasper's like, what are you guys doing? Inhale up, exhale lower. Follow your own rate, follow your own rhythm, not mine. But do keep your bum low as you can. Keep breathing. Nice strong breaths, breaths that keep you in control. Yeah. Breaths that say, I got this. I trust myself. I trust this process. And one more towards either side, finishing off on the left to create that balance. Beautiful. Ooh, that fire's building in the thighs. Good. And then inhale, raise, straighten your legs. Okay, so this is where you might want the block, okay? So we're gonna come into a forward fold, and you can either reach for the block if you want to, especially if you want to keep your head up above your heart, if you're feeling nauseous or lightheaded at all. Keeping your head up above your heart is ideal. Or if you just don't want to come too deep in a wide-legged lunge. But here our legs are wide, making space for your torso to move down and into this space. This is a big stretch through the hamstrings, so it feels really nice. So just make sure your feet are comfortably plied out, and then you can bring your arms by your sides. So inhale, raise your arms up, reach up tall. Exhale, spill forward, shoot your bum behind you, and start to come forward. So if you want to reach for your block or your container, you can. And just navigate, gently sway your hips side to side, see how that feels. Good, maybe you want to come a little bit deeper. You can move that block out to the side and bring your fingertips down. Or perhaps your fists. Navigate your bum from side to side. How does that feel? Maybe you want to come a little deeper. Maybe you can bow your head here and let your head hang. And take your nose from side to side. Make sure there's no tension in your neck. Really allow the crown of the head to move towards the floor. Let gravity do its job here. Letting your arms be heavy, letting your head be heavy. Helping to elongate and open up your spine. keep breathing. Encouraging nice, deep, long, slow cycles of breath. That breath that helps anchor you, that breath that helps keep you feeling in control, in command. All right, with soft knees, so gentle bend in your knees, start to lift yourself back up. You can walk up your body if you want to. Walk, 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 walk. And coming up to the top. Take a moment, take a breath to reset. And then taking your hands to your hips, pivot your front foot forward and hop that back foot up to meet it. Give it a little shake out, shake, 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 shake. All right, so situate your block if you used it the first time and you know you want it again. Situate it at the side of your mat. I'm gonna show you the side view once again from mountain pose. So stack, stack, stackety stack, all four corners of your feet, blossom, chin parallel to the ground, like that string's pulling you up from the root, palms facing forward. Settle your shoulder blades down your back. Close your eyes, take those 3 big out breaths, play with new sounds. Inhale, trust. Exhale, fear and anxiety. Inhale, trust. Exhale, negativity, guilt, judgment. Steady your breath. Open your eyes. Taking your hands to your hips now, take a giant step back with your left leg. Left leg goes back, but the toes are facing forward to allow your hips to face forward. Ready for warrior one? Inhale, sweep your arms up, settle your shoulder blades down your back, and exhale into your front knee so it's stacked right over top. So again, all of these other cues about arms, knees, position, whatever, nothing's as important as the cue to hug your legs towards one another. So imagine like a magnet in between here in the center, drawing your leg bones towards one another, but they stay firmly rooted. The feet don't move, just the energy in between the legs, like the bones are drawing towards one another. Really important, helps you connect right here to your core, right to your transversus abdominis, right above your pubic bone. So don't contract your six pack, your rectus abdominis. Keep it open so the breath can move through it. Settling into your warrior one. If you want to, you can stay here or flow with me. Inhale, reach up tall. Exhale, dive forward, sweep back. Keep the connection as you ascend right back up on your inhale. Yes. Keep flowing at your own pace. When we keep that connection, we're strengthening the transversus abdominis, not only to help prepare for birth, because this is an area we do want to connect to during birth, but also primarily important for your postpartum. Okay, we want to be able to connect back down there. Most of the time, issues with getting that flat tummy, if that is your goal in postpartum, it doesn't have to be, but if it's your goal, it's a result of a disconnection with your team, your core, your pelvic floor, and that diastasis that I mentioned a lot throughout class. We want to make sure that all of this stuff is triggering and properly functioning. Good, meet up back at the top. And then bringing your hands to your hips, pivot on your heels, facing the side of your mat. That it's all triggering and functioning properly so that in postpartum, you don't continue to have that mummy pooch that people talk about. And this all has to do with preparation now while pregnant, okay? All right, so feet plied out comfortably, and then find your gentle squat. Oh, my fire is building right back up. I can feel it right away as I take this squat. But I'm not seeing that as a bad thing. Rather, I'm gonna use my tools that I know work for me, sending my breath to the resistance in my body. Bringing that nice long exhale to help anchor myself here. And staying focused, okay? So inhale, lift and lengthen, and then exhale, draw your opposite shoulder, temple flow. Inhale. Exhale, go at your own pace. Keep your bum low if you can. Change that idea of strain that you might be feeling in the muscles to one of strength, power, something that will help fuel you during your birth. Good. And one more towards the left, finishing up your cycle. Right back through center to straighten your legs. Oh, beautiful relief. Okay, so you have your block or your container in front of you, ready to go if you need it. Arms by your side. Inhale, reach up overhead, and exhale, spill forward. Blossom your bum behind you as you come forward, reaching for your block, determining if you do want to use it here, or if you want to come down a little bit deeper, or if you want to walk your hands a little bit deeper, walking them into the space between your feet. Let your head hang. What feels good for you here? All of these cues about moving in a way that feels good for you, or about moving with your breath, all help to evoke that inner goddess, that intuition, that intuitive being within you. It's all relevant, all these cues as you lead up to your birth, helping to navigate through the challenging times, using tools, knowing that you have tools that you can use. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, with soft knees, slowly start to walk up and up and up and up to standing. Okay, hands to your hips, pivot on your front foot, hop the back foot forward, and give it a little shake, shake, shake. All right, coming to the back of your mat now. Bring your hands to prayer. And genie squat your way down into table. Good. And then swivel your way around into a nice tall seat. So you can bring your feet together to touch into bound angle. Now, if bound angle doesn't feel comfortable for you, where it's not very easy for you to get this nice tall seat, then pull in a folded up blanket or your pillow underneath your bum. And if you put it right underneath the sit bones, this allows your sits bones, your pelvis, to spill forward and give you this optimal alignment with your ears stacked over your shoulders and your shoulders stacked over your hips. So staying here, making sure it's comfortable for you to stay here as we come into eagle arms. So extend your arms out in front of you, cross your right arm over your left, seeing if you can cross at the elbows. So if your breasts are in the way, bring your arms up higher than them and cross at the elbows as much as possible. And then we're gonna wind, wind, wind. See if you can get palm to palm. And if you can't, see if you can get back of the hand to back of the hand, or just kind of hook some fingers together. Lots of options here. And if eagle arms just totally doesn't feel good, big bear hug, okay? So just walk your hands behind your shoulder blades and give yourself a big squeeze. That feels good too. Okay. Lift your elbows, draw your hands away from your forehead, and you will feel a big, juicy stretch through your shoulder blades. Keep breathing. Staying here if it feels good, or flowing with me for 3 cycles. Inhale, reach your hands up, sitting up nice and tall. Exhale, bow forward, spilling forward slightly. Don't have to come far before you feel it. Inhale, right up, sitting up tall. Exhale, spill forward. Beauty. Last one. Going at your own pace. Exhale to dive. And meeting back up at the top when you're done. Awesome. Slowly unwind and give yourself a little heart lift to encourage this little counterbalance with the shoulders rounding and opening. Lovely. Okay, opposite side now, arms come out. Left arm goes over top, crossing at the elbows if you can. Wind, wind, wind for your eagle or your variation of, or bear hug. Okay, getting comfortable, raising your hands up, sitting up nice and tall. And exhale, dive forward. So 3 dives if you want them, or just stay at the top. This is your class, you do with it what you want. My cues are just suggestions because you're moving in a way that works and feels good for you right now. Last cycle. And inhale to rise. Awesome. Unwind, find your little counter lift. Squeezing your shoulder blades to kiss your spine. And then coming up to your tall seat. And we're gonna wrap those legs around and we're gonna come onto the ground on our backs. So no props just yet. This isn't quite Shavasana, that'll be next. I'm gonna come into bridge flow here. So just make sure as you're coming down, either you're really rounding your spine and not activating your 6-pack to come down, so rolling down like this, or using your arm muscles to come down. Or if you want to just really practice for the 3rd trimester, because that's really hard to do in the 3rd trimester, just roll onto your side and use your arms to guide your way down and then onto your back. Because then we're not activating the 6-pack muscle. Remember, we don't want to do that as it increases the diastasis recti. That happens to all moms in the 3rd trimester, but we don't want to exacerbate it and make it worse by contracting and creating that intra-abdominal pressure. So as you make your way down onto the ground, you can do a little windshield wiper with your knees to just make sure it's comfortable here with your pelvis on the mat. Yeah, good. And then you're just gonna plant your feet hip width distance apart and just check that your knees are hip width distance apart. We wanna keep the knees hip width. Sometimes when we come up into bridge, the knees tend to splay open. So just make sure the knees remain there. Okay, arms by your sides. So really pressing and hugging the arms in beside you. Press the palms into the ground and shimmy your shoulder blades towards one another to create this little pocket or arch of support at the base of your neck here. Ready, take a big inhale. And then on your exhale, lift your pelvis up, 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 up into bridge pose. Okay, can you shimmy those shoulders a little closer perhaps? And then bend into your elbows, creating this robot or kind of cactus arm, fingers up towards the sky, palms facing each other. Good, so lifting the heart maybe a little more, opening the chest. Beautiful, so we're gonna flow with our breath here. On the exhale, we're gonna rise. On the inhale, we're gonna lower. So when you're ready, pushing all the air out of your lungs. Inhale, slowly lower down. Now you don't have to go all the way down. If your inhale ends halfway, when you need to exhale, that's when you start to lift again. Go slow, follow your rate of rhythm of breath. Inhale to lower, and then exhale to lift. Can you let your breath be your guide though? You can use your elbows into the floor to help press you up. You can use your strong glute muscles. This is really good preparation for postpartum, building those strong glute muscles. Exhale, rise. Inhale, lower. One more cycle. And then finishing up on your back, lowering all the way down. Beautiful. All right, so laying out long for your Shavasana, feel free to pull in any props that you want to help feel comfortable here. If you want to just do it on your back and rest out long, you can, splaying your feet open, palms facing up, feels really comfortable for you, go ahead. Or if you want to get up, rolling onto your side, using your arms, and then make your space comfortable so you can be here for the next 5 minutes or so. I'm gonna come up to my tall seat as I usually do. Sitting up nice and tall, yeah, okay. So finding comfort, finding ease. Shavasana should be a place where you come to, it is a place where you come to at the end of class to regroup, refocus, to contemplate everything the physical, mental, and emotional bodies just learned over the last hour. It's a place to reflect and explore. So as you gently close your eyes, always moving into Shavasana with a sense of compassion for yourself, without any expectation of what you should or shouldn't be doing. And with an open mind and an open heart, allowing both positive and negative feelings or emotions to enter. It's all welcome. It all needs to exist in order for us to manage it. If you feel like you need a little extra release here, you're just not able to really connect and ground, open mouth out breaths, big long sighs. So controlling the breath can be one of your biggest tools for your birth. These long, deep breaths can help you manage your stress response, to help decrease anxiety, fear, these racing thoughts, that monkey chatter mind, a rapid heartbeat even. These responses can directly impact your physical, mental, and emotional health during your birth. So staying with that anchor, staying with your breath, helps to manage it all. It also helps to activate your parasympathetic nervous system. And when activated, it prompts the body into this state of rest and renewal, allowing the system to kind of detoxify and return to homeostasis, to this place of balance. Again, this is what we want during birth. So if you're feeling, when you're faced with a challenge, that your body is going into flight mode, your mind is going into flight mode, and you're running away, then your body and mind are not in that state of homeostasis. So to help achieve this rest and digest state through the parasympathetic nervous system can be done by deep breathing, elongating the exhales to completion, forcing that air out as much as possible, using your breath as your anchor. Doing it now for these next few minutes, staying present with your breath, staying connected there, helping to train your brain to keep that focus and awareness. Building that trust within you, within your state of your physical body, your mental body and emotional bodies, trusting that you truly got this. You've got this, Mama. You do.
And slowly start to deepen your breath, gently awakening your body, finding that easy movement in your limbs, maybe rolling your head. And when you're ready, rolling on to your side to ragdoll your way up into a tall seat, seeing if you can keep your eyes closed, if possible. Thank you so much for joining me here today. The light in me honors and bows to the light in you and the little light inside of you. Namaste.